one? No.
No, probably not.
Oh, wait, I can see right there. I didn't have to go outside.
Bing!
Really?
Light.
That's a good light on you.
That's good?
Yeah.
You don't want to try to get in this too while we're at it?
No.
Is it not wide enough? Or is it wide enough and you had me turn it so that it's...
No, it was just getting the middle.
Oh, okay. I'll have to use the wide angle lens.
No, you don't. It's all right. I don't need to be in there.
All right. You okay there?
No, I forgot I had to cut it because their car didn't know how to... Did you turn that light on or is it...
I turned that light
okay.
on. Yeah. Yeah, so that the camera can actually see what we're recording.
The door wasn't shut. Or the door is ajar.
The door is ajar.
No.
Lies!
No,
the door is not a door. The door is not a door. No, it is a door. The door is not ajar. So,
Yes.
ride home review. Non-stop.
This is a non-stop ride home review.
This is a non-stop ride home review. Oh man, that was terrible. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. It was bad.
The security is following us.
Is the security following us?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
They
okay.
think we're drunk.
They're welcome to think we're drunk. That's fine. They can stop and pull us over and be like, whoop.
No, they're just security. They're not really police officers.
True.
Okay.
So, ride home review. Non-stop. New movie. Liam Neeson.
Yes.
I want to kind of frame this up real quick. So you've got a air marshal who's on a plane, and he's being threatened, and he's going to kill someone every 20 minutes. I think that's pretty much covered in the commercials. And it's your typical suspense thriller with a little bit of, with a little bit of action. So, overall, what'd you think?
That was good.
Okay.
There's some parts I did get like, okay, seriously, either just kill someone or keep moving.
Okay. So you thought that there was a couple parts that were a little slow?
It started off really good.
Uh-huh.
Then it wasn't that bad though. It wasn't enough to...
Yeah, they definitely established his character very quickly.
Yeah.
Within the first 30 sequds of the movie. So,
Yeah, but you can see a lot of tie-ins. Like the news that he was... Do your spoiler thing, because you can't talk about this without having spoilers.
All right, so here comes the spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so when it started talking, and then where it gets weird, where it's like it's all set up for him, and it looks a little funky.
Yeah.
But then you realize, like, hey, he was totally listening to this thing about how they're complaining that, air marshals cost too much money and they're not worth it, and you have all the news and the pundits and everything.
Yep.
So like halfway through the movie, I'm like, okay, that just seems like weird. Like, why were they focused on that? Because then you have to realize they put a lot of little subtle things in there.
Yeah.
In movies.
Yeah, they did. So it's funny because when the guy right up front, when he was asking him where he was going and stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, who does that? Honestly, who does that? Like, to random people. I mean, if you were sitting there, smoking and having conversation, back when I was a smoker, you kind of have some of those conversations, but you would usually have a little bit more conversation before you would branch into, where are you going?
So you'd have the fake conversation.
Yeah, you'd have, it's not a fake conversation.
Well, is that,
smokers are usually friendly.
How was your day?
Yeah. Something like that. You usually have some banter.
I don't know, but I could see asking where you're going because you're at an airport.
Well, yeah, but,
Where are you going? I don't know. I'm just going to go get some cookies and leave.
Yeah, so...
Someone's going somewhere.
I'm going for Auntie Annie's.
Hey, I used to go for Mrs. Field and would sit on the tower deck and watch the planes. But now we can't do that. Thank you, terrorists.
Right. So character-wise, Liam Neeson, pretty good set of actors in this. You got Liam Neeson, Julianne Moore.
The girl who plays Mary that I don't remember.
I was going to say, you've got Mary, and I can't remember her name, and I feel bad for not remembering her name, but Mary from Downtown Abbey.
With a slightly different accent?
Yeah, you had the congressman from House of Cards. I can't remember his name either.
His name was Peter in the story.
His name was Peter, yeah. You have Peter from House of Cards, who, here comes the House of Cards spoiler, who gets killed at the end of season 1.
Well, you should have already been caught up on season.
You should already be caught up on House of Cards. Not my problem. So, Yeah, so he was in it, and
Christina, or at least
she looked like Christina. And at first, I thought that was her. I'm like, oh my god, is that? No, it wasn't her. I thought the pacing was very good. I thought they did a good job of like balancing the suspense and then like, oh, somebody dies. And
I did find it interesting that the first person that died was because he killed him.
That was interesting.
That was a good like.
That was a good like. Oh, dude. So it totally throws you off because then you think, well, okay, maybe he just took out one of the people involved, right? But the problem is then that happens really early on. So he can't be the only person who's involved. Something else has got to be going on. Otherwise, you don't have much of a movie.
That would be the best movie ever. Yep, you caught me. We're done.
Yeah, one day. That was actually one of my plans. I talked about it back in college. I wanted to make 5-minute movies. 5-minute movies. Oh, I walk up to this creepy house. Get out. Okay, we gotta go. We'll see you later.
Peace out.
The end.
Okay, back to the movie.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but I thought the pacing was really good. I thought they did a good job really good job of actually disguising the terrorists and things like that in terms of like motive and everything like that. They did a good job of disguising like who it was, leading you to believe that it could have been, really pretty much anybody. And so I thought they did a really good job of kind of like leading you astray one way towards when they start leading you to think you see Nancy and the co-pilot who are sitting there talking and you think, oh, it could be the co-pilot.
That just seemed like too obvious of a lead away, like really.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But then they tossed you in a turn to a different direction, so it was like, okay, well, maybe it's this person. Well, now maybe they're throwing me off. So I don't think that it's exactly. And so, clearly they did a lot of that, to try to get you to think, okay, who is it really? What's really going on? So.
By the way, I think the air conditioning was on in that theater, and that was just messed up.
Well, there was a lot of people in there.
It
was pretty busy.
2 degrees outside. You do not need air conditioning.
All right, what else? So, action sequences.
I think it was a good play on the same old story.
Yes.
A plane gets hijacked. There's a ton of movies about hijacking planes.
Sure.
But it's a very good twist and a different approach to it. So it's, because I was thinking at the beginning of the movie, like, how hard has it got to be to make movies sometimes? Like, it's like the same thing.
Well, you can tie every single movie and book typically back to some base plot lines.
Yeah.
And then it's just about how you twist and weave the story going forward.
Which I thought this was good because I've seen a ton of airplane hijacking movies, and this was a very different take. But you could see how it aligned with the social and political climate and issues and freakouts and concerns and desperation attempts.
Yeah, there was one thing that they did that I was really impressed with, the fact that they did it, because it usually doesn't happen, which was the fact that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover up my mouth while I tell you this and see what your reaction is. So then that way, if anybody is watching this, then it kind of keeps that spoiler. But the part where the bomb actually goes off.
No, I actually thought it really was going to happen.
Yeah, you thought that was really going to happen? I'm used to
last minute heroics.
Yeah, I'm used to the last minute heroics or something like that, and nope, no.
Well, and you think though, but so many of the terrorists or whatever are so extremist now.
Yeah.
That most people, the one guy did try to back out, but most people, once they're set on something, they are crazy set on something.
That was something that I thought was awesome that they did, where all of a sudden all the passengers were like, they started putting 2 and 2 together, and they're like, I think he's hijacking the plane. I think, dude, we're not going to let this happen to us, because other people were all complicit and everything like that when their planes got hijacked, so we're not going to do that.
Well,
so I thought
everybody. One plane wasn't complacent.
Well, yes, but but I like how they played that into it. I thought that was really good.
And then it's interesting how they get him out of that.
Yeah.
That's a super big spoiler too.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to talk about.
Right. So overall,
I give that a high B.
You give it a high B. You give maybe an A- to a B.
Yeah.
I you know what? I would say that it was It was definitely worth the time. It was definitely worth the money. I would recommend it, and I would give it an A-, a B+. So, who would you recommend it for?
People who are not afraid of flying or won't ever become afraid of flying.
Okay, that's fair.
People who aren't paranoid about the concerns of today's society.
Okay, also fair.
And teenager and above.
Okay, so pretty much teenager and above. If you really like action, suspense, mystery kind of movies that leave you in the lurch for a little while and then have you go back and forth and everything like that, pretty good. Careful. That's my car there.
I have another foot, and it was icy. I hit an icy patch.
Okay.
One day spring will come.
One day spring will come.
You want to know what that month is going to be called?
June.
August.
Yeah. All right. So, so that's our ride home review for Nonstop. Would highly recommend to go see it. If you do, enjoy, and leave your comments down in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.